morning, Wareham. It is Wednesday, July 24th, and we have a great show here for you, the news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. We have a lot of great programs for you today, such as Skip Weight. We'll be whittling with Skip Weight at Echoes, Elizabeth and Son. Also, we're going to be featuring our favorite cranberry video. We're going to visit the cranberry experimental station in Wareham. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the weather and the news headlines are next. Today, in terms of weather, mostly cloudy today, high at 74 and low near 60 degrees. Not as hot as it was during the weekend, oh my goodness. But tomorrow, cloudy, high at 80 degrees, and at night it will drop to 63. Still comfortable for you to not even sleep with the air conditioner on. Well, that's for the weather. We'll be back with the news headlines. Newspaper had the following stories. That is State Representative Susan Gifford and her legislative aide are going to be holding office hours here in Wareham from 12 to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, July 30. Her district office is located at 191 Main Street, Suite 213 F. Those who cannot attend the Wareham time may go to Middleborough Town Hall at 9 to 10 a.m. or cover Town Hall from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Meetings can also be scheduled by appointment. And also, the art show of 11 local artists drew nearly 200 guests to the Old Methodist Meeting House on Main Street during the 55th Annual Born Wareham Art Association Summer Art Show and Sale. The show featured oil, acrylics, watercolor, and mixed media paintings, as well as photographs, crafts, and wooden sculptures by artists who found inspiration in Buzzards Bay landscapes. The official Born Wareham Art Association holds art shows throughout the year in the two towns. New members are welcome to join and may find out more on the association's Facebook. Also, a humpback whale was spotted swimming by the Outer Onset Harbor on Thursday. The Wareham Department of Natural Resources wrote in a Facebook post that the whale was seen swimming between Onset Island and Hog Island Channel. Due to the whale's proximity to Onset Harbor Channel, the department closed the area to vessel traffic to avoid accidental collision and unnecessary turbulence. The channel eventually reopened, and the whale continued its journey down Hog Island Channel toward Buzzards Bay. And also, this gentleman, Joseph Parada Ruiz, 30 years old of Wareham, was arrested and charged with breaking and entering during the daytime with intent to commit a felony. When arrested, Perez said that he was thirsty and just looking for a drink. How many times do you hear that every single day? But it turned out to be that Parad Ruiz has an intensive history of arrest for breaking and entering, robbing, assault, and battery, and firearms and drug charges. Actually, in 2013, Parada Ruiz faced charges related to 5 break-ins in the Hathaway Road and Marion Road area. Parada Ruiz had allegedly entered the homes through unlocked doors and stolen jewelry and loose change. So that's all for today's news headlines. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with more. And when we talk about toys special for children with autism, what do we mean by it? How are they different?
So they're sensory-based toys. So they can, like the jewelry, they can chew on it.
Okay.
And it's made for that. Or the lap pads, they're weighted, and the animals, they're weighted. And children with sensory, some of them, the weight calms them. Some of them need compression. Some of them need weight. Some of them need something cold. So it's a matter on finding what works for what kid.
Now, you're not only a businesswoman, but you also, as I said, a mother with two children with autism. I mean, tell me how effective these toys are. How diverse are they?
They really are great. I don't think getting through meltdowns and things like that would be possible without these toys. It would definitely be more overwhelming for parents without them. Like my son, when he has a meltdown, we have some Muddy Cove healers over there, and I put mine in the freezer. And when you put those on him, he calms down. And if that doesn't work, then he goes in his chair swing in his room, and we swing him. And then he starts laughing, he forgets, he refocuses, and...
So tell me about piercing it together. Where does that name come from?
Well, a puzzle piece.
Okay.
Everybody creates a puzzle piece thinks a puzzle piece with autism, and it pretty much is that. You're piecing your life together in different little pieces. You're always here, there, and everywhere as a parent, so piecing it together.
And what should people understand about autism and parents with children with autism?
Just because you know one child with autism doesn't mean you know autism. Every child is different. And if you see someone having a meltdown, don't judge them, because that's the biggest thing that parents get, is judged. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And every child's different, so.
And now to our favorite experimental station, that is the Cranberry Experimental Station, located right here in Wareham, to learn about the great work that they do in order to secure the vitality of the cranberry industry right here in Massachusetts. Take a look. From the bogs, the vines, to the berry, cranberries are one of the most unique fruits, and its industry influences the economy and character of southeastern Massachusetts. Cranberries are so important that there is an entire department, an entire facility dedicated just for their survival. That place is nowhere but right here in Wareham. Just off Spectacle Pond Road at One State Bog Road in East Wareham stands the UMass Cranberry Station. This affiliate of the University of Massachusetts Amherst traces back to 1911 under the guardianship of Dr. Henry Franklin. For longer than 100 years, the station has been conducting experiments and research on behalf of the cranberry industry in Massachusetts.
Our whole mission is to really provide whatever horticultural resources and solutions that the growers need in order to remain viable within this area, and to also have environmental stewardship, so that we, think about the citizens that live in this area and the impact that our industry has.
Using experiments, the center helps farmers to be flexible with the industry's demands. Currently, farmers are under pressure to produce a certain quality of berry, distinguished by color and firmness, a task that has fallen on Dr. Giverson Mupambe.
But sometimes what we've noticed in the past seasons that growers are struggling to get that color. So these plant growth regulators that we're thinking about, we're thinking specifically of abscisic acid, which has been shown to improve the anthocyanin concentration. So anthocyanin is the pigment that gives the fruit its red color.
Dr. Mupambe is searching for whether improving formation of anthocyanin may produce the right shade of redness. Furthermore, he is studying canopy management.
because the other factor when you think about fruit colors, you need light penetration into your canopy. How much light penetration do you get in the canopy, and does that result in a more uniform coloring within the canopy? So normally if you go in the canopy and you open it up, you find that the berries at the bottom of the canopy, usually they struggle to color up, even when you have like a nice uniform red color on the top. And we think some of that has to do with the lack of light penetration into the bottom of the canopy.
There is also the challenge of climate change. Take anthocyanin, for example. The color pigment is triggered by light penetration, but mostly by cooler temperatures. Our most recent winters haven't been favorable.
I don't know if you remember last September, we probably had 6 or 7 nights. It didn't go below 70 degrees. And that's way too warm. And so what's happening is that the color doesn't develop. And the handlers want you to bring in a fruit that has a certain amount of red pigment, because that's what cranberries are known for. So you're waiting for the color development, but the longer the fruits stay out in the bog, the greater chance that they're going to lose quality, because they're going to start succumbing to fruit rot.
The abundance of rainfall also has proved irresponsible, at times flooding the vines, which can lead to fruit loss. Though irrigation is important, specifics matters, as Dr. Peter Jerenyama explains.
You can't grow a plant without water. But then the question becomes, how much water do we need to put in there? Because we have a tendency of over-irrigating. Like, there's this notion that cranberry requires 1 inch of water a week, 1 inch of water per week. But that is not based on any scientific reasoning.
So Dr. Jerenyama and his colleagues have come up with something called evaporated demand, a way to determine the exact amount of water needed at a given time.
Right here, I'm carrying one of the sensors. This is called a tensiometer. You can view this like a big, a giant root in the soil. So it has a ceramic tip. So having a ceramic tip, so you put this device in the soil, and the water is going to be absorbed through the ceramic tip. And the amount of water that is taken into the cylinder will equate to a certain amount of pressure that will be recorded on a recording device. So we've come up with a relationship between stress levels based on the tension that you get in the soil. So the wetter the soils are, the lower the tension is going to be. And the drier the soils are, the greater the tension is going to be. So that's why we know when it is too wet or when it is too dry.
The center is also helping farmers harvest berries that can make the weight. Currently, the incentive starts at $4.55 to $5.50 kilogram per millimeter. What have you seen in terms of maybe trends with pesticides? What is threatening the berry at the moment?
So our trends with pesticides have been moving away from very toxic, broad spectrum, particularly insecticides, to things that we call reduced risk, that are more targeted.
We do have some cranberry insects that are pests, and a lot of them. Because it's a native fruit, we have 25 different insect pests. He's rolled up because he's been eating cranberry all day. There's a gypsy moth there, and then another cutworm. Cranberry weevil is a tiny insect that has been causing a lot of trouble this year. We do have to put on sprays to manage these insects, or they will eat all of your flowers and you will get no cranberries. So in entomology, we have 25 or 30 different insects that we're always thinking about. And there are new insects like scale. If you can imagine that you have your upright and there's something that looks like that on there, so you can't even see it unless it's under the microscope. This is a new insect that we haven't seen in 80 years. So that one's kind of cool. And right now the crawlers, little babies, are being released out of there, so that's another problem for the growers.
Why are they coming back after 80 years?
Either because there's climate change and good conditions for them, or we're not using broad spectrum pesticides anymore where we're spraying and killing everything so that there's the opening for them, or we have new varieties that are softer tissued and give them the option. We don't know.
Are there any pesticides that are good for the berry?
We do have a number of insecticides now that instead of being broad spectrum, they're specific to the insect. And yes, The one that we have, cranberry fruitworm, which is a little moth that lays its egg on the berry as it's developing, we have a new compound called Alticor that doesn't hurt bees, doesn't hurt us, but targets just that fruitworm. So we feel that that's the magic new insecticide that we have that has really helped us out. Of course, it costs about $50 an acre, so it's expensive for the growers.
The services and research conducted here are available to farmers for free. The center helps farmers connect to the bottom line on the cost saved and the money made if they choose to implement the knowledge. But lately, knowledge hasn't been enough as the industry faces substantial doubts. Would you say the industry is flourishing?
No, not at all. The industry is very much struggling at this time because there's an oversupply of fruit, and so prices are depressed. And so it's predicted that for the majority of the industry this year, growers will be paid less per barrel than it costs them to produce that barrel. So we figure it costs maybe $25 to $30 a barrel to produce it. Growers are probably going to be paid $20 or less. So they'll actually be losing money for every barrel of cranberries that they produce.
So then they come to you and from what you told me, the industry is struggling. They're facing an enormous amount of stress from the handlers.
Yep.
So what do they say to you?
And what do we say to them? I mean, you know, what's really hard about this industry is that we know a lot of our growers. I mean, you know, some of them are friends. At least
growers are pushed to diversify in order to supplement their income. Currently, an area of interest is on renewable energy. Tell me about the research when we're looking at renewable energy. How does it fit in with the cranberry bogs?
So, well, and then again, that's a great question. If you drive just down 495, you'll see that there's some windmills out there. So some of the growers are looking into wind energy, again, to supplement their farm income, which is on a downward trek, unfortunately. And then solar farms are something that some growers are looking at. There's the dual use SMART program, which the state is looking for, trying to provide some ways for farms to diversify so they can have alternate forms of income. So that's one way. It's still very much in a fledgling state. You know, there are not any cranberry projects yet where they're still trying to grow cranberries with the solar panels on top of them.
To briefly summarize the UMass Cranberry Center, think of it as a hospital, strictly for the cranberries. Whether you are a grower or just a consumer, there is so much to be learned about this northern native perennial berry. So it seems like there are a lot of cool things that are happening here. I will call them miracles, but how far can your work extend? What can you not do in regards to the berry?
Well, as far as us specifically here, we don't do any genetic breeding here. A lot of that work is going on down in New Jersey at Rutgers University or out at the University of Wisconsin. So they actually have breeding programs because, as you could imagine, with a perennial woody fruit, it's a long-term commitment to be able to do that. And so we felt as the industry, it's expensive, and just to have it located in those two areas works well. We don't do anything that involves product development. You know, food science, we specifically don't do those kinds of things, nor anything directly related to health benefits. So we're really very horticultural, production, pest management oriented.
The center's current projects include, but not limited to, researching solar panels on cranberry bogs, using drones to map plant stress in order to evaluate irrigation techniques, understanding the biology of scale, all while keeping an eye on climate change. And now we're going to take a short little break to just breathe a little bit, and we'll be back with more.
Good morning, Wareham, and welcome to the Weekly Spot, where we talk about all things Wareham, ranging from baseball games, concerts, and much more. Today is Friday, June 14th, and this past week we had several exciting events occur, including the 8th grade promotion ceremony last Wednesday, the preschool graduation ceremony on Tuesday, and Gateman games this past week. Next week, the Gatemen have several games coming up, including the Gatemen vs. Chatham on Sunday, June 16th, the Gatemen vs. Hyannis on Tuesday, June 18th, and Gateman vs. Harwich on Thursday, June 20th. All games will occur at Spillane Field. And that's the Weekly Spot. Be sure to check out our other shows, Trip Off This, a podcast about various abstract concepts, Good Morning Wareham with Queen Bonda, and our live channels for more content. And be sure to follow our social pages. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Hello, and thank you for being us this morning. And I apologize for all the technical difficulties that we are having. Our crew is on vacation, most of them. So we're having an intern in the studio, and he's trying to learn his keys here and there. Anyhow, we are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic report, and more information. And now for a moment in history, let's take a look at where we were today in history. That's cool. Well, on this day in archaeology history, the ancient city of Machu Picchu was rediscovered by American Hiram Brigham in 1911. This city in Peru once was a home to the Incan people until their civilization was wiped out by the Spanish conquistadors in 1700s. Today, hundreds of thousands of tourists go to this city to marvel at the ancient architecture. And also today in history, in film history, Saving Pirate Ryan debuted today in theaters in 1998. I've yet to see the movie. I hear it's really good. Well, it was directed by the Hollywood veteran Steven Spielberg, who tried his hand at making a film set in World War II. The film was praised and nominated for 11 Academy Awards, and it is now seen as a modern classic. Also, moving on, today in history, in American history, the Salt Lake Valley was settled by Mormons in 1847. 148 settlers led by Brigham Young traveled for 17 months before making it to the Great Salt Lake. The Mormons had left the East in search for religious freedom after their leader Joseph Smith had been murdered. They found the area in what today is known as Utah, the state of Utah. Another place for me to go and visit. Also, for today's birthdays, we are making a shout out to Avitrix Amelia Earhart, who was born today in 1897. She was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean by herself. She infamously disappeared while flying over the Pacific Ocean in 1937, and many people still speculate to this day on what have happened to her. That is all today in history. To learn more cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. Stay with us. The coffee segment is next, but first, let's listen to Stephen Miller, who is meeting with the library's children librarian, Marcia Hickey, to talk about some activities going on for this summer. Take a look.
Welcome to the third installment of July's Checkout of the Week at the Wareham Free Library. Today, I'm joined by Marcia Hickey, our children's librarian. Welcome, Marcia.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So I asked you here today because I have some things that are going on with the children's area this summer. tell me about your summer reading program and all the different activities that you have for children.
Okay. Well, summer reading program is the highlight of the year. And we do an 8-week summer reading program. Right now we're finishing up week 3. Tonight, as a matter of fact, we have a newish program that we do cooking with middle schoolers.
It's called Cooking Adventures, right?
Cooking Adventures. So we're going to do our second one because the first week or the middle week was 4th of July, so we didn't have it. And that's turning out to be tons of fun. They're so enthusiastic. But the whole summer reading program, we call it Garden of Opposites, and we focus in our children's garden a lot. So on Mondays we have story time at the Spinney Memorial Branch at 10:30, and then Tuesdays and Wednesdays we have story time here at the main branch. Starts at 9:30, and we bring the children and their families out into the garden, do a variety of activities. We water, we look at how things are growing, like our peppers are really growing, little tomatoes are growing, and we pick things. So the first week we did opposites of like sweet and spicy. And so we had the kids clip all sorts of herbs. And then we had 2 oils. We had a grapeseed oil, which is sweet, and an olive oil, which is tart. And we cut up the herbs and we put the sweet ones in the grapeseed and the tart ones in the olive oil. And then we had homemade bread, and we had the kids try bread with dipping oil.
That's awesome.
And see the difference. And most of those children are small, so they've only had butter on white bread.
Yeah.
After the garden, we come in, we do story time. And story time consists of singing and bubbles and rhymes and musical instruments. And lots of times we end with parachute play. The kids really like that.
Yeah.
And then we go into the activity room, we do crafts. And after the crafts are finished, we have the children wash their hands, because we talk about cleanliness with food and food preparation. And then they help us make that. So we have the oil ready, and we ask them to put in the herbs. We ask them to shake in Parmesan cheese and mix it up, and they're part of it. Even we have mint, and so we have them pick the mint and put it in lemonade or put it in water so it sweetens the water.
It's the Garden of Opposites.
So many different things, because opposites is a concept even little children can understand. So we do 8 weeks of that type of programming. Yesterday we had something special because we had the Wareham Gatemen come.
That's right.
And read to the children. But we still did garden time, and part of the opposites, we were talking about seeds versus plants, young versus old. And we took them in back of the library to one of our neighbors, and he raises chickens. So the kids saw the chickens and got to feed the chickens.
But they also got to see the eggs.
They got to see the eggs, which are really cool because they were larger than normal eggs, and they were different colors. They were green eggs, so like for St. Patty's Day, green eggs and ham. But, the first story the Gateman read was first the egg. So
Yes.
we started out with first the egg, then the chicken.
Yep.
And they went through a whole thing of opposites.
Yep.
And they were great readers. We had great Gateman players, and the kids understood the concept.
Yes.
They had actually seen it. So part of our snack on that day was we took eggs, and the kids got to use the egg slicers to slice the eggs.
Yes.
Tiny
Yes,
slices,
yes.
Put it on bread.
You alluded to it earlier. You had the Wareham Gatemen here yesterday, and they're going to be back here on Wednesday, the 17th. And
Yes.
it's just, I actually, I work for the Cape Cod Baseball League as a scorekeeper, and I can tell you the baseball that these Cape League teams play is incredible.
Yes, it is.
And so the opportunity for children to come and to actually, have stories read to them, to how play games and to get autographs signed and things of that nature. It's just such a unique opportunity for them.
And I try to emphasize to the children, because we get a variety of ages at the Gateman Storytime.
Yes.
I try to really emphasize that these are college students.
Yes, student athletes.
Exactly.
They're student athletes.
Exactly, because I ask every single player what school they go to, what year they're in, and to tell the children they need to get a good education, even if they're focusing in on sports.
Absolutely.
Part of it.
Absolutely. I think we've been bombarded with children and teenagers asking us about books they need for the summer reading list.
Yes, we make a real concerted effort to make sure we have copies of every book on the summer reading list. Multiple copies. But this year, we're excited because the library has been recertified. And because of that, the previous couple of years, 3 or 4 years, the kids in Wareham could only get Wareham books or Swansea books. This year, they can order books from anywhere in the network.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Even if our copies of, I don't know, what's a summer reading book right now?
The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman.
Yes. If that book is checked out, even though we have 4 copies, we can still get multiple copies throughout the system.
And we have copies at the Spinney Library, of course.
Yes, we try to buy copies for the summer reading books and put them at the Spinney Library for our onset residents who it's convenient. And also, in onset, we get a lot of summer people in the summer cottages, and those families want their kids to read too during the summer. So they're looking for their summer books.
Yep.
On their list.
Well, Marcia, thank you so much for taking some time out to join us here on today's program.
You're very welcome, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcia about the children activities for this summer. Anyhow, we're going to take a lovely quick break to admire the birds that are blessing our beaches here in Wareham, and then we'll be back with a coffee segment. As promised, so our favorite program, that is Whittling with Skip Waite, is going to be featured today during the coffee segment. Skip Waite works at ECHO, that is Elizabeth Home Offerings. Elizabeth and Home Offerings at ECHO at one of the buildings there at the Tremont Nell buildings, the Nell building. So he works there and he makes everything from birds. Now he has his own furniture line. This particular video, of course, we're going to be featuring I believe his birds. If not them, then it will be the cane. Anyhow, a huge surprise coming your way.
Oh, hi folks. Welcome back to the new ECHO, the old Tremont Nail Company down in Wareham, Massachusetts. I've done a lot of different things over the years, and I took up carving for the fun of it, whittling, carving, so on and so forth. And I have a lot of fun making things. And what I'm going to do today I did 2 other shows. One was on making some birds, and one was making some flowers. And today, we're going to make a very simple walking stick, or cane, whatever you prefer to call it. That happens to be sycamore, sassafras. I use lots of different woods. And I'm going to do something I've never done before today, because I got some brand new 15th, 16th century tools that I've made, and I want to use them. I don't use squares and levels and all that stuff. I do it the way it was done hundreds of years ago. And I want to make a fancy cane. I've collected some sassafras, some black Russian, and a piece of cedar, and another piece of sassafras. And I made this machine the other day. This is a dowel maker. We'll take this nice green wood and I'll pound it down through there and it'll come out here and it'll be a dowel. And I'll show you how that works later, but we're going to get to work and start making ourselves a cane, walking stick, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to start off first with my piece of cedar. This cedar is a beautiful, beautiful red heartwood. See that red heartwood? I'm going to take that out of there, and then I'm going to start cutting it and getting pieces of beautiful red. Then I'm going to do pieces of this sassafras, which is beautiful white. And we're going to make a red and white, red and white, red and white cane using my pegs with my peg machine. So I think we're going to have a fun day. I'm ready if you guys are. All right, now let's do this. We'll put the vise up here. And I'll put the log in here. This is cheap. I'm using a real vise. We'll see. There's different ways to do it. We'll see what way works the best. Where's the plug? Oh, there is none. Okay. I don't like electric tools. I do use a drill. Beautiful. Now, we can try different ways to do this. There's lots of different ways to do it. I got to get that red out of there. See that red? That's what I want to get out of there. And I'm thinking we might cut it to length and then see if I can do it. Let's try it that way. Well, well, well. Let's see. We may be doing this different than I thought we were going to do it. Let's see what we got. Look at that. Usually in the center of that, all the way through, we'll have a beautiful red. And this time we don't. So let's try doing this a little different than I was originally going to do. I'm going to put this right here. Now we'll take this right here. This is a dead tree I found out in the woods that was dead. So it's pretty dry, in good shape. Now I'm going to do something I don't like to do. I have to use an electric drill. But we do what we have to do, right? So I'm going to put this in here. Get my electric drill out. And I'm going to make a little noise. Sorry about that. Hate that racket. And look at how beautiful that inside the cedar is. That's the heartwood. The outside is a sapling. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I just always love the cedar. It's one of the prettiest woods, I think. It's been used for everything. All right. Enough noise for a while. I don't like all that noise. Now, this is going to be kind of funny. Remember, I've never done this before, so we're going to get this, and I'm going to cut off a piece of it. Okay, there's two of those. Remember, this has never been done by mankind before. So those are going to be the pegs. And I've got this piece of wood that is sassafras, okay, that I'm going to put in here. Made enough noise. Don't like all that noise, do you? Whew, okay, now we got that, and a piece of cedar. So watch what we're going to do now. I got to go set up another piece of equipment. Wait till you see this. Did you see that? Now watch this. Come on, baby. It's supposed to fall out. Come on, fall out. I want to see it fall out. It's not going to fall out. All right, be that way. It's supposed to fall right out into my bucket. Get out into my bucket. Won't do it. That's funny. That's funny. Maiden voyage. All right, so we'll go up this way with it. All right. We have a towel. Now, this is going to be kind of fun. What do you think I'm going to do now? I want to put these two together. I've already drilled the holes, right? Now we'll use a little bit of wood glue I happen to have right here. Get that open. Okay. That's it, right down. Now, what we do, I'm going to see with my pencil, I put a dowel in here. I'm going to mark it. Put my glasses back on so I can see. All right. And that's that one. And that's that one. We'll cut that off. Perfect. A little bit of glue. And a little bit of glue. Did I get the right one? Did I get the right one? Did you see which end I used? Isn't that funny? It's the right one. I'd rather cut it once. Now, take this and that. No, that's not going to work. That's not, I like this way better, I think. Now, isn't that interesting? Look at it. Look what happened. Because there was already a crack there. So what we do in that case, this is simple. This is simple. That's why they make glue. So we just put a little glue in there, like that. Then, this magic potion here, called sawdust, and here, magic potion. All right, now, I don't mind the crack anymore. Now, we'll put some more glue. See how this is not a good tight fit here? So what I'm going to do, same thing, a little glue. Not much. There we go, there we go. All right, so we'll take this, put it in here. I'm going to make a little noise again. Now, do you think that that will ever come apart? The answer is no, it won't. I'm going to do a little of this too. When you hear it solid, that means you've gone far enough. Okay. And that is the beginning of our cane. Now we'll take another one of these and put it on this end. You get the picture? Not hard. I'm just using the stuff that I've got here. And we'll put this on there, so I'll drill that hole next. Okay, cut this. Come on, get out of there. Nope, gotta bang it out. Yeah, I can bang it out right here. There we go. There we go. That was a nice one. All right, now I can use this one. All right, now let's take this one. There's one thing we need, glue. Don't forget the glue. Nice. Nice. I like it. Now, see, this will fill this in with glue. This is how it's going to look. Now, the next one will be here, square, with the cedar. And the next one is going to be white. Then we're going to blend this all together. But first, we need some magic stuff. Magic stuff. Get it all filled in the way I want it to be. Then when you shellac it, you can see the joint now. That's the idea of how it's going to look when it's done. It's going to be an interesting cane. I'll taper these the same as I did this one. And right now I'm going to get another piece of the cedar. So let's put that right there. Get another piece of cedar off of here. And I got to measure it. So we'll just make sure the cedar is the same length. So we'll cut it right here. That's pretty. That is pretty. Okay, I think we have a nice length here now. So the next thing to do is to get these all joined together nicely. So that's what I'm working on now. I like to do it mostly by hand. I like the hand tools. They're friendly to me. I think that could be a wonderful handle. So I'm going to cut this off, and we'll decide what to do with it. Beautiful wood. Hey, little guy. All right, now let me show you some canes that I've done. Here's one that's kind of fun. This is a sassafras cane. And I just took a little gouge and made a little design in it. It's very, very comfortable. I took a rasp and rounded off that top. I cut these to length, whether anybody wants. I coat them with shellac, and that's just an all-natural walking stick. We sell those for $50, and they're fun to make. I have this one I'm very proud of. This is a very nice ladies' cane. And I have food coloring on the raw wood, and then I shellac over it after I've done the woodworking. It's kind of a unique cane. And the top, this piece of wood comes right through the handle like that. And then it's fastened together. It's a nice rugged lady's cane. I think that would be fun to walk around with. You can always whack somebody with it if you want to. And let's see. Oh, you want to have some real fun? I get tired making this one. Oak and acorns. Oak leaves, acorns. And then I did a sassafras handle on it also. Isn't that cool? We cut that to size, whatever length people need it at. What you do is you relax, stand the way you always stand, relax, then I'll measure to your wrist. When I hit your wrist, that's the length the cane should be. That's my oak leaf cane. Kind of cool, different. And there's also a little dragonfly on there. Again, that's food coloring I use. So if your dog has to chew on this, it won't hurt him any. Okay, now, let me show you my sassafras wood spirit. Check that out. I put a little wood spirit in there so people can have some fun and have somebody to walk with. You don't have to walk alone. It's a good looking cane, I think. Again, that's a sassafras. Hope you like that one. All right, wait a minute, I got another one here. Look at this weapon. That's a piece of sassafras. This, believe it or not, probably doesn't weigh a half a pound or less. Looks like it's great big and bulky, but it's feather weight. Wonderful for walking around, and you can really lean on it. Very strong. Sassafras is a good, strong hardwood anyway. I took some food coloring, a little blue and green, and put it into my shellac, and then I shellacked it to get that color. A lot of wood is left on. A lot of the bark I left it on purpose, you know. It's a beautiful piece. Old piece of dead wood I found out in the woods. Look at this. I bet you've never seen one like this. I saw this in a magazine, and it's a thumb stick. That's how you use it. You lean, put your thumb in there, and it's so comfortable, it's ridiculous. If it had a bigger crotch on it, you could also put it under your arm, so you can just kind of hang around and shoot the breeze with somebody. They do this over in England. I never saw one before, but it looked like fun. And I thought I'd make one. I did make one, and it was fun. So that's it. And we're on Cape Cod, you know, Wareham. So I did what I had to do. I had to make a fish on a cane. I have a shark, I have a tuna, I have a plecostomus, and I have a, I don't know what it is, fish. That's not a plecostomus either, I'm just kidding you with that. But this is a fishy cane. This is mahogany, this is sassafras, and it's a very, very comfortable cane. When you put a handle on like this where your grain is going the wrong way, the grain is going like this, so it could very easily break. But not if you take a dowel and drill right straight through there and come out here. Now it can't break. I read that in that book with the thumb cane. So that's my fishy cane. If you like fish and canes, Echo is the place to come. Now, I saved the best for last because I enjoy having fun with people, and I think this is fun. You'll never walk alone again once you have one of these. Twins, yeah, me and my buddy. What do you think of that? I put the wood spirit on after I made the walking stick. This isn't a cane, this is a walking stick. And I always shellac them, that's what the finish is, it's on the canes. And they're fun, and I enjoyed making this one. And I hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you for watching, I'll catch up with you later. Bye-bye.
Well, for a full video, you can go on our YouTube channel to learn more about whittling with skip weight. Thank you for joining us this morning. The episode will be rebroadcasted tonight at 6 p.m. With that, we'll be back on Friday with more. Thank you. Bye.